Neophyte Club.
Hey. Thank you very much. That was very kind, Jim. Really inspiring.
You're very kind.
Thank you. All right, hey everybody. So, Bob Dylan. I'll let you be in my dream if I can be in yours. So Bob Dylan said that, and what I'm interested in talking about tonight is, what's this sort of consciousness of chaos trip that we're all a part of? And I guess I said that, but it's kind of confusing. Hopefully it'll be a little clearer when we drop into this. But I'm interested in that flow of the consciousness of culture, and it feels chaotic, but it's part of a dream we're all in. When Adam invited me to be a part of this, I was very flattered and honored to be brought in, but he said I could say a few words, so I've got a little window to talk about, so I picked a few words to talk about. So that's what we're going to drop in on. And the first one that's going to arrive is hello. So it's like, you show up. Hello is one of the most powerful words in the world. In my view, it really starts everything. And you get thrust into the world. So November 16th, 1959, I showed up, and that was my hello, and we all get that moment to say hello to the world. And along the way, you get that moment of innocence. So you're first there, you're sort of fresh and innocent, you're kind of looking at the world through a fresh lens, and it's kind of a beautiful thing. Everything's pure, and you're kind of floating through space, and everything seems kind and lovable. And then as you get into it even further, you get really curious and you start pushing the paint around and you can start actually crafting what the world maybe is like. Everything, and it just happens to be there open for you to move and kind of push and play with. So your curiosity starts to build and it makes you pretty happy. Because curiosity makes us happy. It makes dopamine flow and it's really beautiful. And you're actually beginning to design. You actually are starting to bring order to the chaos and the purity and the innocence. You're actually starting to design kind of where you might point things. So you already early on, we're all designing what our life might be and where it might go, because we're trying to create order in the chaos. So from there, you discover things in your design, like, and you can see that I'm still dyslexic. There's things that your design might not work so well in, and you suck at math, or you can't quite find your way, and you realize you better draw like hell. And you have a mom that nudges you on to try to inspire that every day. So in that, you discover, oh, there's flaws in my design, and there's challenges, and you get empathetic. You understand the power of empathy, and you also have the world pouring in on you, realizing maybe you're pretty grateful for where you live and what you do. And the rest of the world is pretty challenged, and many lives are very challenged, and empathy becomes part of how you try to create and think. And then you move into creation and think, okay, I've got a context of curiosity and innocence and all these things happening around me. What are you going to do with that? What can you envision? What could you actually create in the world that's worth a damn? That then becomes the whole course of action. What do you do to create? What can you do to find a new place? And with all that, culture is flowing like a freaking raging river. It is pouring all over you. And there's things that are happening in culture. There's beautiful things that are happening. There's also incredibly scary things like murderers being celebrated and all these insane things that are happening, both people landing on the moon and just chaos happening in the world, but it's culture pouring over you. So in that, passion you try to hang on to. So you're desperately trying to grab onto handles of what makes you passionate about what you do and why you're here and why it matters, or does it matter? So you try to find some passion to believe in, and sometimes that passion goes too far and it turns into obsession. So a passion of design and curiosity becomes obsession, and all of a sudden you're thinking too much about that and it's almost the only thing that matters. And obsession becomes a problem, and it really takes over your life and destroys some of what you should be focused on. So from there, it really turns into an understanding that you've got collaboration on your side, that you're in this together and we're all in the river of chaos together. And both as a family, you're in collaboration with the family design you're creating, but also you're in collaboration with brilliant people all around you, and it's your ability to craft collaboration that really can define everything, because we're in the chaos together. And then it's time to reflect. You start to realize, like, wow, why am I really here? And your mom passes away, and your dad's mind is slipping away, and you're realizing, wow, quickly, and you start reflecting. And then fear shows up, which is always kind of present. And memento mori is kind of chanting in the background, like we all get a turn. We all get a turn to face that fear, but it also drives us forward to think about what's next, because fear is what creates progress. You start thinking about what could happen next, and you have to embrace the fear and really love it. Part of fear, of course, is the willingness to be called a fool. And you'll only make progress if you do that. You can't really make any progress if you don't embrace the fact that failure is going to happen. If you're not unwilling to be called a fool, then you'll really not create progress. And you have to embrace the idea of failure. You have to be willing to basically punch the wall and know that the wall is going to punch back. And things are going to happen in that space when you fail and explore and try to challenge some boundaries. There's going to be things that fall apart. And studios that once were one thing are going to transform and turn into something else. And is it failure or wisdom? And in that, of course, we're all striving for love. That security and comfort and everything in its right place, where you find everything in order and you want that comfort. And love is a beautiful thing, but love without desire, without the idea of desire to pull you forward and the mystery and the unknown and the adventure, love is really pretty lacking if you don't have desire as part of what that dynamic is. So you desperately look for that. Where is the desire for the next thing, and what is that thing that's going to pull you forward? So in that, you then realize that part of the passion and the desire is to feel something. Like, can you actually make any idea that people can feel? And that's really what the whole goal is at this point, is can you actually create anything that people actually feel and you feel? Because the journey has been wild and chaotic and crazy. And eventually, you get back to innocence and a childlike wonder, and you have to wake up every day and realize that that is your friend. The wonder is what drives everything. If you can maintain that curiosity and you can hang on to that, it will save you from many, many things. And you can redefine what success is, which is the ultimate goal. Is it sucking the life out of you, or is it truly something that you can retool and remodel and rethink and reimagine what success truly is about? So that's the journey through the consciousness of chaos. And then you end up at the end. Or is it?